Just don't be surprised when I can't talk much about the ending of this book.
Good evening and welcome to Omnibroslive. This is Omnidog. I'm one of the Omnibros. And there's 4 of us here so far.
Yeah.
And we've got a week in geekdom. How you doing, Gio?
Doing pretty well. Excited to talk about TKO Studios. And, of course, hanging out with you, bros.
Right. That's what we're doing. And we've got the man famous for church chubbies, the uncanny Omar.
You promised you wouldn't tell anybody that story.
Oh my God.
I did not promise anything. You thought I was high and was going to forget.
I really thought you were going to forget about that story. Yes, the uncanny Omar. Thank you.
And we also have the Omnibus Collector himself, Ryley Mo.
And I guess Jess is not holding me accountable for things I said in our chat today that he took notes on. Not today, but yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for the proper moment to use that. It's got to be organic.
All right.
That was not organic at all. You literally introduced. All right, whatever.
Oh, boy.
We have another contestant chiming in. We have
all right.
Comics Guide 101, the amazing Lou. How's it going, Lou? You.
Howdy. How's everybody doing?
Hey.
Good, man. Good. Man, we got a full house tonight, right?
Yeah, Gabe's going to be coming in here as soon as he gets some food. So I should tell you all about InStockTrades.com, where you can get up to 50% off on your comic book collected editions. Loyalty discounts add 2% to that. There's always every quarter an Omnibroslive discount code. If you're smart and order $50 or more worth of collected editions from InStockTrades.com, you get free shipping in the United States. That's amazing. What else is amazing? Their fabulous customer service and their fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com.
Nice. Good job.
I feel like you answered your own question. Like, what's amazing? I'll tell you what's amazing.
That's right.
Very narcissistic. I like that about you, though.
That's right. Captain Narcissism right here. I dig myself.
All right. So today we are reviewing these books from TKO. This is round 2. Jess, what was round 1? What did that entail of? What do you remember the name? Sarah was one of them. I remember that.
Sarah was one of them. The fantabulous Dr. Fang, I think, was one of them.
Mm-hmm. This wasn't a test. I was just wondering.
Oh, I don't remember any of them.
You don't remember? All right.
No, I do. They were all really good too.
Okay.
I liked all 4 of them.
Burnout something?
No. Shoot, I had them on a special place in my shelf, and now I can't see them.
The burning palm tree?
Yeah, that was a really good one.
Well, good thing we're not reviewing those. Okay. So we are reviewing 4 of these. The Banks.
Yeah.
And then we are also talking about Sentient. Eve of Extinction. And Pound for Pound. So which one do you guys want to tackle first?
I'm trying to think of what was in wave 1.
Okay, you worry about that.
Jess is still stuck on that first question.
This is looking at wave 1 books.
The 7 Deadly
Good Night
Sins.
Paradise was the other one. Good Night Paradise, Sarah.
There you go.
And the fantabulous Dr. Fang, but then there was a 4th.
Like, you realize
Fearsome
you
Dr.
are
Fang.
on a computer with internet
7
access.
Deadly Sins.
The 7 Deadly Sins.
Like, you
Sarah,
could have just
Good Night Paradise.
Googled it.
I could have what?
You could have just Googled it. You were walking around your room. You're in front of your computer. Just Google it, man. It's cool.
I got a chat, Chubby. I can't get up.
The chat show.
All right. let's
my god.
let's talk about pound for pound then. I'm gonna call it pound for pound. What did you guys think about this? I guess we'll limit ourselves to a minute. Yeah.
Okay. Go.
Did anybody else think of Grant Morrison Garth Ennis when reading this, or was it just me?
I thought of Avarello.
Yeah.
I could see that, like 100 Bullets.
Yeah. Like even from the art, I immediately thought, this could kind of fit into a 100 Bullets side story.
You know what it felt like to me, and it makes sense when I read the writer profile. It felt like a pilot episode for like an FX TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what I was going to say too.
A lot of these for me felt like pilots. Like these could easily be used to pitch something for a greater TV show.
One of them this one felt like a pilot. Two of them felt like Twilight Zone episodes, and one of them felt like a failed Soderbergh movie.
Interesting. I love the cover though. Out of all of these, I think the cover for this is my favorite.
It is the most interesting.
Yeah.
Sadly, it wasn't my favorite, but it wasn't also my least favorite. I thought it was pretty interesting. The concept is a lady fighter, underground fighter. I assume that's what she is, right? Like, not really UFC, but whatever.
She's like an MMA.
Underground
illegal fighting ring.
Yeah.
Her and her family came here illegally. Are we talking about spoilers? Maybe a little bit. Okay. Honestly, all these books are mature content, so keep that in mind. There's some F-bombs dropped. There's sex. There's nudity. So keep that in mind.
I would say this one's the worst.
This is probably the worst with vulgarity and the violence.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I found this one to be okay. So anyway, a short synopsis: her sister gets kidnapped by somebody from maybe or maybe not her past, and now she teams up with a couple of people to go get her back. It's
very straightforward.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's midget jokes in here, so if you're into that.
Lots of fisting in Spanish.
Ignorant redneck jokes in here.
But they're down near the border, which is important.
Yeah. Yep.
They're down near the border of Mexico because they go over it and come back, and it deals with her past crossing into America, and that plays a big deal in the book. Her passing into getting smuggled over into America.
Oh yeah. I was reading
a compelling part of the book. I like this book because I thought it introduced me to an ethnic, cultural aspect that I wasn't necessarily aware of. Not that I take this as necessarily a true aspect, but it seemed legit until they got to the big bad Mojo-like character at the very end, which I thought was overkill. But other than that, I thought the whole thing was cool. The whole thing. I
honestly would have been okay with that premise of them going to get her sister back. I thought that was interesting enough. I think adding all those extra elements of almost supernatural elements and the big bad at the end, it just almost came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
that was okay. Like it came out of nowhere, and so much so that they gave him an origin issue, like a whole issue with an origin.
I know.
I was like, what? Who is this character?
That was the only part. I agree with that. That was the only part that I thought we could have done without that guy. And it would have stood on its own just fine. I thought it was interesting enough to stand on its own.
I think the artwork was. Here, let me turn to a page where it doesn't show any spoilers.
Or I thought you were going to nudity or something.
It's got lots of boobs if you're into that sort of book.
Oh yeah, none of us are.
But it does a pretty good job of telling this sequential story. It's like I said, it's violent. This is probably the most non-violent page I can show. It's over the top violence. So when I compared it to Garth Ennis. That's what I meant. Like just literally shoving a pistol inside of someone's head. Okay. Yeah, I see what you did there.
I mean, from the very beginning, it kind of lets you know what this book is. I mean, within the first few pages, it's very violent, and it sets it up right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of Spanish slang in here too.
Yeah,
that goes untranslated. So, Jess, as somebody that doesn't speak Spanish, how do you feel about that?
See.
Okay. No, I'm serious because sometimes that bothers me when I don't speak German, and when I'm reading a story and half of it is like in German, I'm like, damn it, I feel like I'm missing things out. I go on Google and look up things.
I went to Google Translate for some of it, and I was okay.
Okay.
I know there was at least one part where she like explicitly states what she said to the guy.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is just, you know, what it is. But I dug it, man. Like, I know it's not perfect, but it was a fun kind of like grindhousey action flick seeming type of movie, or not movie, a book. Like, it felt like it was a movie. I felt like I was sitting there watching a movie, or like I said, like a pilot episode for an FX series, like some gritty drama that they would have on there, and it was fun. By the end of it, you know, I was satisfied. I get the issue with the big bad that they kind of shoehorned in there at the end, but overall it gave me what, from the first few pages, what I was wanting, which was a bunch of action, and it had some pretty decent characters in there with pretty decent arcs for themselves, and even had a guy that looks like Danny Trejo. So
I think that was totally on purpose, right?
Yeah, probably.
Absolutely.
I wasn't digging it at all in the first issue, and then the cliffhanger at the first issue, I was like, oh, okay, well, I care enough to keep following this story. And it turned out to be pretty fun for the most part. I'm a pretty vulgar guy, so sometimes a lot of the vulgarity seemed forced in the dialogue. So
yeah, that
it's kind of weird saying that, but that's the way it feels. Sometimes conversations just naturally flow, right? Like you throw church chubbies out there, and it's just part of the conversation. Whereas some of this stuff just kind of, because of you.
This team, like, I could totally see maybe like a Robert Rodriguez or somebody like adapting this.
Yeah.
He has his channel El Rey. I could totally see this being like a series on El Rey, or even like one of those movies like Once Upon a Time in Mexico. It has that vibe. It actually kind of reminded me of a movie a few years ago, Colombiana, which, you know, was Zoe Saldana. Zoe Saldana, right? That's who it was?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Colombiana?
Yeah. It reminded me of something along those lines.
I didn't mind the bad guy because it's so over the top. Each issue just got bigger and bigger and bigger. So when we do get all that nasty stuff, I'm like, makes sense. You know, it's like a B movie grindhouse story, so I didn't mind. But yeah, the corny cursing got a little annoying because I personally don't talk like that at all. But whatever. I just thought it was a little bit easy.
I don't really like when characters do that either. But I mean, I get it. There's several of my cousins do. So whatever.
We talk like what?
Like suddenly you're talking English, and all of a sudden you drop a Spanish curse word, all of it, and then you just move on. I'm like, oh, okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, my wife's family talks like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my father talked like that. For the first 5 years of my life, I thought my name was Pendejo. So
I always make a joke that I thought my name was Imbécil de Mierda. Like, that's what I thought my name was growing up. Mine and my brother's names.
What is that?
They'll talk about my brother-in-law and
it's my dad. That's what he would call us.
They'll be speaking English, something. I pinche Jonathan, pinche whatever, and like that's just normal. And so that's what, like, I'll call him pinche Jonathan sometimes.
Interesting. All right. So, man, this is so hard because there's 4 books and it's so difficult.
Hey Google, what are
compare
they talking about?
It's difficult not to compare them. So
I would put this. I mean, if we were to rank it, I'd put this as number 3 for me.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going to put it. 3 for me.
It's number 3, but I feel like 1 and 2, or not 1 and 2, 2 and 3 could probably be interchanged.
I'm going to say number 2.
I put this as number 2.
Okay, you guys felt strongly about this one. All right, so Jess, why don't you pick the next book then? One that doesn't have Spanish slang.
Bank.
The Banks, okay. The Banks.
The Banks. All right, interesting.
So give us a quick synopsis, my brother.
The Banks tells us of the multi-generational hijinks of an African-American family starting in the 70s. They're thieves, safecrackers. They are high level. They start middle level, then they go high level safecracking. The husband gets caught, goes to jail. Mom passes it on to her daughter. Then the daughter tries to pass it on to her daughter, who decides she'd rather be a investment banker, and which they refer to as a different kind of thievery. But the investment banker daughter discovers an extremely wealthy client, and because she's passed over as an associate at the firm that she works in, she decides she wants to rob this extremely wealthy client who has a vault full of gold bullion, and this is where I'm calling bullshit, a hard disk of Bitcoin.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let me just say Bitcoin is not like Bitcoin's a cryptocurrency, and just because you stick $100 billion worth of Bitcoin in your vault does not mean when you pull it out, it's still going to be worth $100 billion, because cryptocurrency is extremely volatile. And
I'm an idiot with that
sense when you pull it out. So that was my first go through that book. Well, that was the first part that I said, I'm not really that wild about Bitcoin being the goal of this theft.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just point out another thing that I'm going to have to highlight here. Where am I? Oh, here I am. This scene where this is the granddaughter's daughter, goes to visit, is pregnant, goes to visit an OBGYN. In this scene, she says, "How's the baby doing?" And then this mirroring. And in this scene, she says, "Here's a bunch of other doctors because I'm hitting on you." Between this scene and this scene, nothing. I mean, there's no flirting. There's no sharing a bowl of Captain Crunch. There's nothing going on. All of a sudden, she's just asking her out on a date. I don't know how things work in the lesbian world, but in the heterosexual world,
a lot different, buddy. I can tell you, it's a lot different.
Well, that would get you a quick job as a cab driver from being a doctor.
You would be the biggest douchebag, OBGYN. Hey.
There was no flirting. There was no exchange of information. There was just panel. And then, "Hi, I'm hitting on you. Let's go to dinner." And I was just like, whoa, where'd that come from? And there was no relationship. There was no similarities. There was no, "Hey, I like the color blue too," or anything going on there. It was just like, "I'm hitting on you. Here's some other doctors. We're lesbians. Let's go for it." And I was just like, where'd that come from? So
yeah, Jess likes to you like the slow burn when it comes to a true love story, right? Like the Hallmark movies. Like
I didn't need a movie, but I could have used a panel of some kind of explanation of their.
Oh, like arrows pointing. She is gay. She is also gay.
No, not that.
Wait,
all I had was a change of clothes that said the appointment was over and that the doctor was hitting on her, and I was like, "What the? How? What?"
Would you have said the same thing if it was a white doctor?
Yeah.
Dude, I wanted to like this book. I did not like it. Like, it was so cheesy. And this is my type of story, though. Like, it begins with flashbacks, and there's flash forwards as to like how the grandparents met. But there's just a lot of things that I found wrong with it. One of them being the Bitcoin, but you explained the hell out of that, so good job. The other one being having one of the stupidest detectives I've ever seen in a comic book. I feel like I was reading a script to a movie that Canon passed up on when they were trying to come back. Canon Pictures, if you know anything about them. That they were like, no, thank you.
Shut your mouth. You do not disgrace Canon Films on this podcast.
I love Canon Films, but it's just like even they were like, nah.
This is what I was talking about as like a failed Soderbergh, because it felt like it was trying to be that heist movie type story, and I was like, it's not entertaining, it's not fun. It was just kind of meh. The characters were kind of bland. They all kind of ran together. And then the Bitcoin thing also bothered me. And I was going to be like, that's not, because I don't know anything about crypto. And I was going to be like, that's not right. Is it? Like, you don't just have it on a hard drive.
Yeah, I'm not bright in terms of Bitcoin and stuff like that. I'm kind of an idiot with that stuff. But even I knew, I was like, that doesn't make a lot of sense. That sounds like you're going to be wasting your, okay, all right, fine.
It's like movies from like the 90s when newer or the 80s when newer technology is coming out and they try and like integrate that into the film, but no one really knows what the technology did at the time.
Yeah.
So they're like, this floppy disk can destroy the world.
Dude, every heist movie in the 80s was the floppy disk or in the cartoon. G.I. Joe or Transformers, that's all they were after. There's just a lot of stupid characters in this too, like the boyfriend that kept like he literally walked in on her and the dude on top of her, and he was like, "Oh, what's going on here?" What? What the fuck do you think is going on?
We're just wrestling.
Like
and she was always dressed very seductively whenever she went over to the client's house, which is clearly a complete violation of the relationship between the investment banker and the client.
Who goes over to this douchebag's house? He doesn't even button his top button. Come on, man. Anyway, that was another thing I found that I didn't like about this book was the art. Like I like I don't know how to describe it. The characters, like they looked really stiff when they were just sitting there or standing there and talking. Like they didn't look natural. Everything looks just
static.
Yeah, almost like statues, you know. Yep. And she's a good enough artist. Ming Doyle, the one that draws this?
Yeah.
She's the one that did The Kitchen, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what they said. I don't know, but just I wasn't a fan of the art and just the story. Nah, not for me. It reminded me of a serious Mo Money. Have anybody seen Mo Money?
The problem with that story is that the author is not a comic book writer. She is a novelist, and it shows because you're writing. It reads like a script, like a movie script, and you're not letting these characters breathe and grow. Yes, the character interactions are really fun. I enjoyed the banter between the three girls, the three women, but everything else is very shallow and character tropes, and the background characters are extremely dull. I didn't think this was a story for 6 issues. It needed a way more.
Yeah.
And maybe the bank heist should have been in the 80s or the 70s. Don't bring that to modern times because you clearly fumbled because you didn't know what the hell you were doing with modern technology. So if it would have been a period piece, this book would have been a standout. But
I really hope
it's not.
I really hope Roxane Gay, by the way, the lady that wrote this, is a millionaire because of Bitcoins. And she's watching this going, these fucking idiots. I don't understand Bitcoins. Bitch, please.
Plus that ending, the way this book ends is just so abrupt. And I'm like, okay, it's over.
It's like an airplane crash. Instead of smoothly landing, it just goes neat, doink.
There's this whole vendetta going on with the grandfather that I was like, what happened? Like, where's that story? I want to be angry too.
Yeah, with
Scarface. Didn't help.
Scarface, Scarface felt like he was just thrown in there for an extra reason for no reason, Yeah.
Who could have made this work would have probably been like a Rucka or a Brubaker or somebody like that.
And it's difficult when the comic books like that exist, right? Because it's hard not to compare it to something like a crime noir that Rucka and Brubaker are both famous for doing. But I mean, there's other writers that have been, I think, did a really good job of doing things like that. You all mentioned 100 Bullets.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is bottom of the stack for me. I did not like that.
Yeah.
But the thing is that Brubaker and Rucka have that market pretty much cornered at the moment, especially Brubaker, who he's putting out a new crime book every 6 months, basically.
It's not fair. It's not fair.
And they're all right. Yeah, it's really not fair.
Yeah.
Somebody mentioned gutter loss in the TKO books, and I noticed just a little bit of it.
Same.
It's because these are oversized too, by the way. But I noticed just a little bit. I think it was an Eve of Extinction.
Yeah.
It never bothered me. And this is just a side note. This is Roxane Gay's at least second comic book that she's written.
What is she written?
Second?
She wrote Black Panther. She wrote World of Wakanda.
Oh yeah, they're coming out with a hardcover for that.
She did that spin-off series, I guess a year or two ago, and that was a lot better than this. So she definitely knows how to do comics correctly. This just, I think that it just wasn't that interesting, the story.
Okay, well that shut me up. Apparently, she does know about comics. Clearly, I wonder if Wakandian deal with Bitcoin. I don't know.
I think so. It was after they ran out of vibranium. They created their own cryptocurrency called Panther Coin or something.
The TKO box that I received was in boxes, but I mean they came intact. It was nice. Had a little sticker and everything. So thank you to the guys at TKO for sending us these books, by the way.
Yeah.
Even though I just busted on the banks, damn it! I probably should have thanked them at the beginning.
Yeah, we did.
It's okay.
Jess, what did you think about this one? You didn't have a problem with this one, did you?
Which
Other
one?
than the banks, you said you liked it.
It was fourth out of four for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agreed. I had issues with it. Yeah, I listed my issues with it.
I love that cover. Cover's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Really threw me off, expecting a lot more from the interiors.
Yeah, me too, man.
And it's not a terrible book by any means. It's just
It needed more work.
Yeah.
I think it needed to be fleshed out a little more. Maybe less characters. Maybe it should have been just about a mom and daughter, focus on them, and then. You guys want to do Gio? Why don't you pick the next book? We got 2 left, and
All right, let's talk about Sentient.
I think Gabe's joining us for the time that manga's gonna.
God.
He's gonna crash the party. That's gonna be great.
We talking about manga yet? All right. Sentient. Speaking of manga, this book reminded me a lot of a manga.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of, oh, sorry, go.
Sorry, I thought it was going to be a horror book, and it's not, which I appreciated because just because it's in space doesn't have to be scary.
I didn't. Did you all look up what these stories were about? Because I literally opened the box and started reading it, and I think it was better that way.
I went in
I had
blind.
no idea.
Yeah, I went in blind.
Mm-hmm.
And you can buy Sentient by itself. Bruce was asking in the chat. Who wants to start? Who wants to talk about Sentient? It's Jeff Lemire, right?
Well, this was the strongest of all the books and could have easily been released in the first wave, and just continues Jeff Lemire's amazing run this year of everything he writes is awesome, in my opinion. I'll let somebody else do the overview because I'm just going to gush over it after somebody. Well, there's a sentient ship, which is where they get the title Sentient. The ship itself is an AI that functions as a go-between between Earth and a colony. And there's children aboard and their parents. A disaster happens, and it's only the children that are left alive, and they have to learn under the AI, whose name is Church Chubby. What's her name?
Valerie?
Valerie.
Did she say Church Chubby? Way to slide that in there.
Fantastic.
Is there a drinking game going on I don't know about?
Yeah, I'm wasted. And so she teaches them how to run the ship so they can end up at the colony. But then, and I don't want to spoil it because this is the book you definitely want to get. There are some problems that arise. The children are pretty remarkable. The ship is remarkable on how they deal with the problems. And I didn't see any of it was going to happen. I thought, and the art is really, really good.
Yeah, it's the guy that did Vision, right?
Yeah,
Gabriel Walta.
Yep.
yeah. The art's amazing. The whole setup of the book is amazing, I think. I just found this book to be, I burned through it and I want to read it again because I'm sure I missed some things. Gio, are you showing some of the art? Oh, there's Let's Talk Manga.
Yeah, but sorry, that was.
I'll highlight you if you're.
Yo.
Hey,
If I'm showing some of the art, I'll highlight you while we talk about it.
Yeah.
And you talk about it. Yeah. And there's.
Yeah. I mean,
Go for it.
I was just gonna say, the book is. I went in thinking it was a horror story, but I appreciated the fact that it's mostly a survival tale about these kids forced into an extreme situation. I think I can show this. It's somewhat graphic, I guess. There's a lot of blood at the beginning of the series, but yeah, I like the idea of when you're telling a story. It's nothing new. We've had stories about colonies in space. The Earth is uninhabitable. Sorry, and you're transporting all these people to a new planet, this new colony, and something goes awry, and all of a sudden these kids, like I said, are forced into this extreme situation of survival in space. And it's different than if it were on Earth because the kids can escape. You can go to a different area, land, sea, whatever. But you can't really do much in space. You're trapped in this metal tin box floating in zero gravity. How do you do that? You're what, an 11-year-old? You don't know shit about anything. So how do you survive? I thought Jeff, brought out the best in these characters. Yes, some of them do really stupid decisions, but in the end, it's fairly realistic. I could sympathize with the kids and what they were going through, and I love the character of Valerie, even though she's an AI. She's probably one of the most expressive ones in the whole book, with her frustration of one being a sentient robot, two having to deal with a crisis and how do you raise kids in this situation, because she's sort of like the mother goose in all of this. So I thought that was pretty cool.
And each book is $20, and it contains six. Each book contains 6 issues, but they frequently have sales like buy 2 get 2 free and things like that. Bruce in the chat.
Yeah.
So they frequently have sales. If you want to get some of the first wave or some of the second wave, they frequently have sales on their books.
Yeah, I just missed the sale this weekend because the first wave they had all the trades for $10 each.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Damn.
Nice.
and I was like, I'll wait a little longer, see if I. But I guess the sale is over. But they have this. I guess we didn't talk about it. You can either get them in trade paperback format or get them in the 6-issue format. So 6 comics. Did Gabe leave the chat?
Yeah, he's going to come back when we're talking about manga.
He wasn't kidding. Okay. I thought I was going into this when I read it. I was thinking of 2001. Of course, probably all of us were, and how this thing is just going to end up, killing the kids or betraying the kids, and it's a survival horror. And it turned out to be a lot more wholesome than that. I really enjoyed it. I like the little twist it took with the narration at the end of issue 1, and then at the end of issue 6. Which I can't get into spoilers, but this was probably my second favorite book out of this batch.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I enjoyed Eve of Destruction a lot, man.
Okay.
I feel like I read this with more of a horrific tinge behind it than everyone else did, because the whole way through was like, it was like Omar was saying, that idea that like something's going to happen. And I read it all the way to the end with like what does happen not necessarily being positive. And it's almost like I read the events with the kids being on the ship almost as a Stockholm syndrome type thing.
That's the vibe I got.
Like Lord of the Flies, like they just start golfing each other.
You're not stuck here with they're imprisoned by the AI is what I basically read it
I
as.
thought this was going to take a turn. I honestly expected this to take a really dark turn towards the end, and we can't really ruin it without ruining the book exactly what happens. But I firmly believe, like four chapters, because this goes by chapters, that this is gonna take a turn where this AI becomes really obsessed with protecting them to the point where, it becomes detrimental to the kids.
I just felt like there was some sort of ulterior motive, and the events that play out basically does not allow for Valerie to go through with what she would have done. And then that means that the cliffhanger at the end, it played out very much like a Twilight Zone cliffhanger where you're like, oh, snap. Like I was like, something not so great might happen to a lot more people now.
Okay, interesting.
I could see a spinoff or a second series later on.
I don't
really
want
thought this
a
was
second series, but
I thought this was part of a trilogy.
Yeah. I think,
Yeah.
For some reason. Maybe it was the way it was written at the end.
it could have used a little bit more fleshing out for me in terms of like, because a lot of stuff happens really quick, and this kind of felt like to me that Lemire had a much bigger story in mind, but because of how TKO is, he kind of had to truncate it and fit it into the 6-issue story arc, which isn't bad. I dug the hell out of this. I would put this as my second favorite book out of the lot, and mainly because it's Jeff Lemire, and I've got a church Woody for Jeff Lemire right now. Church Chubby, however it was that you guys said, or Jeff Lemire, and pretty much anything that he's doing right now. And the art, for me, the art in this was the best out of all of them. I love the art in this one, and when they do encounter another ship along the way, you do kind of feel that sense of like, oh, this is really not going to end well for these kids. And I think that they hit the nail on the head of that sense of isolation, that sense of really being in a tight corridor, and I really like that a lot.
yeah, I liked it. It felt, I mean, I felt like it was at home with like the Alien movies, basically.
Yeah.
Just with children instead of adults on the ship.
Yeah.
But it was very enjoyable. It was the first one that I went to because obviously it's I recognize Roxane Gay's name, but it was the only writer I was really familiar with and the only artist I was really familiar with. So it was like, okay, let's go ahead and jump into this one. And it was fun. It was a fun, quick read. I didn't really put it down while I was reading it. I thought it was great from beginning to end. I can kind of see that idea of like, it seemed like he might have had more story to tell, but I think it's definitely better to be limited and have like a bigger story that has to be condensed down to six chapters rather than having a 6-chapter story that they force you to expand into something larger. So if it did get limited, I think that possibly helps. No manga yet, Gabe. We're almost done. We got one more TKO book. I mean, you can review your TKO books if you want, though.
Yeah, I liked all the ones, and I think Sentient was my favorite. That's all I have to say.
All right, cool.
We're moving on. I'll get back into it deeper later on another show.
I think what's the most impressive thing for me is that Val really doesn't have a face. There's nothing that's a face or anything. There's nothing really that'll connect you to the character other than Jeff Lemire's dialogue. I mean, you get little hints of like where she's like in a robot or something like that. There's really no emotion on the robot. And Jeff Lemire is able to sell it enough with his dialogue, and the dialogue is good enough that you do kind of get emotionally attached to this character. And towards the end, you're like, oh man, I hope everything works out.
Mm-hmm.
I
agree
makes
with
you
that.
care about that AI really fast.
Yeah.
Very
It's a
similar.
quick read, and you care about that AI really quickly. So
I was just scared of her the whole time.
I was. This one reminded me of like the They Were 11 manga, things like that I've read. But it was good. I liked it. But I think, yeah, to me, I thought this one was better. The Eve of Extinction. I guess we could talk about this one last.
Yes, this is my favorite.
This is my third favorite.
Third favorite. You would put pound for pound over this one, Jess?
Yeah, I felt like I'd read this before. This felt like 28 Days Later to me, sort of.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that. So
I
it is a virus that breaks out through rain, but it only affects men, right? And the men turn into these
So lucky.
creatures, right? Like here, like zombified creatures, and they absorb other creatures. They're almost like parasites. So I guess less like zombies. And only women are surviving. So it's like this lady right here. Let me see.
Kind of like Why the Last Man.
Yeah, we've seen the premise before. I mean, it was a Outer Limits episode.
Ooh,
Like-
good pull.
Right. I got you, man. I got you. Let's
The
see.
creatures reminded me of Last of Us.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say
they
Resident
just-
Evil.
So you have this daughter. What is her name? Antonia, right? This is her dad.
Yeah.
And then this is her biological mother right here, who is trying to make amends with her because she hasn't been a part of her life because she's a recovering addict. I think is that what it is.
Uh-huh.
And then this is
Yeah.
her.
Yep.
This is her mom, her stepmom, I guess, that is now married to her dad. And together, these three ladies are trying to survive this apocalypse of men going crazy. So. And trying to
Crazy
eat
men.
them and killing them. I really enjoyed this one. It was a lot of fun because I think this one I liked because it never stopped. It was literally one bad shit just happening after the other. We got to keep moving. We don't have enough time to sit here and get to know each other. You get it, right?
Yeah.
I can't spoil a couple of things that I enjoyed, so I will say, yeah, this was fun. There's a couple of characters that I was like, you got on my nerves, but other than that, it was pretty fun. I like the artwork too.
I got caught off guard because I was reading it, and all of a sudden there's a dialogue where they say something about, you need to go to the medical center, and I was like, wait. And so I turned back, and I never read like the little cues that tell you where it's taking place. I'm like, Gulf of Mexico, and I flip forward, and I'm like, this is in Houston.
Yeah.
So it was cool. And there's actually, I don't remember what scene it was, but there's at least one scene that I legitimately recognized where they were in the city.
Oh, cool.
And I really appreciated, and so I looked at the artist or the writer profile, and apparently one of the two writers graduated from my alma mater, University of Houston. He did their creative writing program out there. And he's done like, I think television work or something like that since then. But, so I was like, oh, that's cool. So he spent time there. Yeah, obviously knew things about Houston. The whole thing, if I'm not mistaken, was taking place during a hurricane, which obviously we got hurricanes pretty much semi-annually or multiple times a year. Fun times, lock up your doors and try to stay dry and hope that your comic collection doesn't get destroyed. So it was cool to see a book that actually, like, the writer, even though he wasn't native to Houston, understood the city and kind of had an artist that understood how to draw it in a way that I recognized it, as opposed to Scarlet Spider, which was not freaking Houston at all. That book sucked. So next.
This was right up my alley. Like, I love this type of stuff. I'm a sucker for horror. I'm a sucker for B movies. I'm a sucker for zombies, all that stuff. So
You're a
this
sucker
was-
for sexist viruses that only attack men.
Yes. It's a B movie plot. This is totally something you could honestly. This is totally.
I like
something Yeah, this is totally something I could see like Roger Corman doing back in the day or something like that, where it's just over the top. Sometimes it's really fun, and for me, the only drawback for me is that I've been digesting and consuming pretty much every form of horror that I can since I can remember.
But you were a little pendejo.
Hey, look at you! You learned stuff from pound. Picking up that nasty dialogue.
And it's all stuff that I mean, it feels like stuff that I've seen before, and the ending for me was just a little bit too wrapped up with a nice bow, and it was a bit too happy. And I was like, I mean, aside from that, I love this. I think Monsters,
The only problem I had with the entire thing is when they run into the zoo, and I was like,
oh yeah,
why?
yeah.
That's what it
made
was.
you
The
think you
zoo.
would be safe here?
The zoo was when they get to the zoo, I was like, yep, that's the Houston Zoo. It looks exactly like the zoo.
Okay, it's a scary
Yeah.
place.
And we didn't realize at the time. I mean, reading this, I didn't realize at the time that then they like introduced new concepts of what the parasite can do and stuff. I was like, all right, that's cool. You know, this feels like something out of Resident Evil or something along those lines. But yeah, it's fun. It keeps going. It's a great, fast-paced book. You don't sit down and think about it too much, and you just get through it, and you'll have a good time. I love this. I loved it, and yeah, this is definitely my favorite pick out of the batch. And if you like B horror and you like zombies and stuff, this will be something up your alley.
Cool.
Right.
Really quick, Gabe, how would you rate these books? Obviously, the Lemire book is your favorite. How about the others? What would you rate? How would you?
I think I'm in the same boat as Sentient would be first. Thanks, pound per pound, and the Eve of Extinction, I think, is probably my least favorite one. The one you guys were talking about now that you're liking so much. I felt the characters were very boring. I didn't really. There was no like character arc or no reason for me to really. The mom, other than the fact that she's trying to, get back into her daughter's life, but she does it by being kind of like a bitch and tries to ruin, their relationship with their daughter's boyfriend at the prom at the very beginning. I just didn't care about any of the characters. It's a fun B movie story. I agree with that, but the characters are really, really dull.
When they get to the zoo, I got a little
how dumb was that?
The character designs. I'm like, somebody's doing something. And then later on in the school, I'm like, okay, somebody's doing something, and they got out of it okay. Woohoo! Because I got lost. I didn't know
had
what
a
was
really
happening.
bad attitude. Yeah, the stepmom was terrible. I sound very misogynistic with this right now.
Yeah, you sound like you couldn't connect with any of the women.
Book. Yeah, the whole book is nothing but women. So
if there were a bunch of
anything, it's that way.
If it was a bunch of white guys, do you think you would have had the same problem? I asked Jess the same question earlier.
Hey, there's only one wasp in this chat. Don't include me.
I'm kidding.
I like it better if I was having wet dreams in school.
I'm more surprised that Gabe has the Banks as his second one when all of us were like ragging on it.
Yeah, what did you like about
I dug it? The art was probably my favorite art next to Gabriel Wallace. I think the art really stood out for that book and really drove it forward for me.
Okay.
Gabriel Wallace stuff in Sentient was great. You don't see a lot of people using white pen.
By the way, something I wanted to add with the Eve of Extinction. I found it scary because we don't know the origin, but hurricanes come and go. So it could happen again and again and again. So that element of it, I really liked. I thought that was pretty scary.
I always, when things like this happen, I always try to sit there and ask too many questions about loopholes. Like, what if I'm outside, right? But I'm wearing a rain suit and only my feet get wet. Like, what happens?
Yeah.
Like, it's the whole Gremlins 2 thing. Like,
what if
I
I
start asking questions about what if you're in a different time zone? Yeah, there's all these different things, right, that you could be asking.
Also,
and then I was like, this is silly. Never mind. Go ahead, Gio.
Some of the creatures looked like clickers, by the way. Some of the creatures looked like clickers, which I thought was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Of the Last of Us.
Last of Us? Yeah.
I didn't enjoy
the Final
art.
Monster. Yeah. The Final Monster.
I didn't enjoy the art in Eve.
Huh?
I think I'm on a lag.
You didn't enjoy it?
No, the art in it was there's very little background. Everything was done in the coloring process. So there was really no backgrounds. The backgrounds were just straight colors. Or really the background work, adding in details like bricks and signs done by the colors. The art just did.
It reminded me of the Shadowline books from Image, where it's very digital looking. And then they switched art, and like, I was just getting used to the first art, and then you change it. I don't know. I would have stuck to one artist.
Yeah, it was two different finished arts is what it was. Because I think the issues 1 and 2 and 4 were all done by Nick Varela, and then the line art for 5 and 6 were Isaac Goodhart. So, because I guess the idea was to have Nick do the whole thing because he's the guy that did the cover. But I guess he fell behind. So, yeah, but I really enjoyed it. So
I didn't know if he changed artists. I just didn't like the art all the way through. I didn't realize that there was 2 different artists.
Yep.
I think you hit it on the head. Yeah, it's kind of like the Storm in Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. Kind of like that.
Sounds like a kind of bummer reviews for round 2. How do you all compare to the first round? I only read Sarah, so I don't know how the others were.
I haven't read anything from round 2. I think that's the only one that's read all of the round 1 books.
I read all of the round 1 books and liked them all, from A+ to B, solid B, round 1.
Okay.
I haven't read any of the round 1s. This is my first exposure. But if this is the lesser of the rounds, like if round 2 is not as good, then I feel like I really need round 1 because I enjoyed like 3 out of 4 of these. I enjoyed a lot, and then the other one I didn't, but still.
Yeah, you like round 1.
Also, did you like the build of the book, the paper quality and all that stuff? Because I thought that was pretty interesting.
I did. I liked the matte paper that they use. It makes it feel like they're not. It's not quite as thin as like newsprint, but it's thicker. It's nicer. It's matte, so it's not reflective of light on the paper and stuff. The covers, I guess not really cover board, but the paperback cover is not glossy like most comic book covers are. So it was nice. It kind of stands on its own on my shelf and stuff as when compared to the others. Plus, it's oversized paperback, which is a lot of fun.
Yep.
Yeah, I like the fact that they. I know that on Fangirlz they like to feel the book and stuff. Or at least Maddie does. It does feel a little different. I love the fact that they're oversized, right? They're bigger than your average straight paperback.
Yeah, that's really fun. That's really good design with it being oversized. I like it too.
So thank you to TKO Press, TKO Studios for sending us these review copies. And I think, Ryley, you especially need to read Wave 1. You really like all the books from Wave 1.
I'll have to keep my eyes open for one of those sales like Omar was saying.
Yeah, next time I'll let you know, man. I'll hit you up. Because I almost pulled the trigger and I was like, I'll wait till next week.
Was it half off?
Each trade was $10. Seriously.
Dude, I would have jumped on that immediately because that's
the one thing. They offer free shipping too in the continental United States.
The one thing that I was like, oh man, you can't get them discounted. They're all $20. I didn't want to, spend $80 on all 4 of them. So I was like, I'll wait and see if there's a discount. I know there was a discount recently where they dropped to like $17 or something, but I was like, wait a little longer.
I guess it was a big deal that it went half off. Damn it!
They frequently do a lot of sales. Sales.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sign up for their newsletter, then you'll get hit up with sales all the time.
I still stand by the fact I think that they're onto something with this binge approach, where I think this is I think this really is the future of how this is going to go. Where it's 6 issues as a whole, you read it, and then another 6 issues comes out in a few months or something like that.
The most interesting part on that for me is that they allow the option of the single issues as well. So the people who are still single issue collectors who prefer that format can still enjoy the books.
Yep.
And the box
set, the single issues come in like a nice box. Yeah.
Yeah, the box sets are nice. The stuff that they have for those are really nice.
All right, so manga now?
No.
I got 10 minutes. Let's look at some of the previews. Are we looking at previews tonight? What are we doing?
Yeah, previews now.
All right, let's all 6 of us talk about it. We've never done this. All 6 of us. Let's just jump right to the manga so we can annoy the piss out of Jess.
It's okay. I'll just leave and you can look at my statues. Like last time.
Gabe, can you share the screen because you're the best at it?
I think you can exit the studio and it won't end the show. So that's okay.
I can't leave the studio.
You can, I think.
I can leave the studio?
Sure.
Uh-oh.
Let's try it out right now. Go ahead.
This is gonna end the stream.
Shortest episode ever.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we're blacked out. There we go.
We've got too much.
What do you mean we got
can't
too
leave.
much?
I
What were you trying to do?
trying-
I don't think you can leave because then we're screwed. See?
It'll shut it off.
Nope.
Why are you trying to leave?
Yeah.
I'm not leaving. I'm trying to add Gabe's screen.
Have you tried Command F?
You know,
Shut up. Try it again.
don't type command F.
Jess, don't you have a
Try
Hallmark
again?
movie to watch?
I don't.
It's an Amish Christmas story.
Let's see if I can get it so that all 6 of us are on the side. I don't know that all 6 of
I
us.
don't think you can do that. There's way too many.
No,
Too many of it.
Well,
How many?
Fine.
that's gonna lag.
we're on a game show.
How many Hallmark
Like
movies?
we're on a
is
game
it?
show.
We're like the Brady Bunch over here.
Isn't it like
Okay.
Riley? Isn't it like 70 Hallmark movies that they're dropping this year, or something crazy like that?
It's something ridiculous. And wasn't there like some sort of we'll give you $1,000 if you sit in a room and watch them all or something?
Why would Riley know
I
this?
do.
I love that he knows that there's 70 dropping this year.
Hey, Luis
Like-
is the one that mentioned it to me.
Why
I
do
just
you
confirmed it.
don't answer that. Never mind. All right, who's in control?
Can you?
Because we're trying to make the list of the top 10 okayest movies of 2019.
You can't choose Hallmark movies. That's not fair.
All 70 will be on there.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can't do that. Whose screen is being shared?
Gabe's.
All right, hit
Gabe.
That's
F11
mine, right?
or yeah.
It's going to download a virus.
Volume go down.
I'm trying to think of what the command
I
line
have a
is for the Mac. Is it Command 11? I can't remember. Whatever. It's supposed to make you go full screen.
Oh wait, his screen moved a little.
He's moving it.
Okay. Well, just go ahead and move it.
Oops.
You,
I was trying to
Oh,
see if I
there
could
we go.
make it get bigger.
It's the
yeah.
I
best
was about
scene.
to ask, do you have a... I was going to ask if you had an anime background right now.
You fucking nerd.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z.
I love
I've
that
always had
scene.
Dragon Ball Z stuff. Yeah,
Even though
no,
it's
that
so
was the best, dude. Future Trunks
it
throwing up
was-
the sword is the greatest.
Even though that
thing ever.
picture is so inaccurate, nerd.
I love when you're calling people nerds with a background.
Actually, Trunks split him in half first. All right, what's the first thing we're looking at here?
Okay, so let's just skip to the bottom and just talk about all the manga stuff real quick. No, I'm kidding.
Goodbye.
So let's go. We're going to start
Image.
out here with Image. And
Okay.
Image has Rumble Trade Paperback Volume 6.
nice.
Then we got Sharky the Bounty Hunter Trade Paperback.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Got a shark
Dark
and
Horse this week is some art books with art of Concrete Genie hardcover,
It's a good
EC Archives Modern Love hardcover, Imanan. I'm no idea. I'm gonna pull a Omar and not understand this word.
I understand words. I just
Volume
can't pronounce them.
4.
That's beautiful
That works,
artwork.
And then Gantz is getting an omnibus for Volume 4. And
Nice.
Kabuki should be the reprint of the library editions, but instead we're getting a trade paperback omnibus for Volume 1 of Kabuki by David Mack. Scrolling down to IDW, looking at Ghost Tree trade paperback, Joe Hill graphic novel collection, My Little Pony Volume 13,
Wow.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Ultimate Collection Volume 4, and Uncle Scrooge World of Ideas.
This is a weak week. This is really weak.
Hang on now. We've got some stuff coming.
There's nothing like
Yep.
that so far.
Oh, guys, we have X-Men Shattershot coming. That's all you need.
That's true.
All right, so DC, this has all been canceled. This is scroll through.
Hey,
It's not coming out.
Nope, sorry. All right, so Detective Comics Volume 2 hardcover, Arkham Knight. This is confusing again because this really is like a second Volume 2 hardcover. Green Lantern Rebirth Deluxe hardcover, Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey with the movie art on the trade paperback.
Which is not an actual series. It's just a collection of stories.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Injustice 2 trade paperback, Volume 6. Pearl, Volume 2, which I've been hearing is really good.
It is good.
Superman, The City of Tomorrow trade paperback, Volume 1. This is the Ed McGuinness, Joe Kelly stuff, I think, right? That's awesome.
And that is your first 50% off and book. And Cameron says that they are sorry that they have been backed up because of Black Friday sales. They apologize. They appreciate everybody's patience at IST, and they are catching up. Slowly but surely, they are catching up and are almost caught up.
I didn't know they were backed up.
They must have made bank recently then if they're this backed up. Because I noticed, but I figured it was like holiday, so I wasn't upset. But like I've had a order that has taken about 2 weeks to ship.
Oh, you need to post that on the Facebook page.
No, if I was dumb, then maybe I would, but I understand how the business works. So
my DCBS order still hasn't shipped, and that that's their sister site. So that usually ships end of month. So they are really, really backed up.
Yeah, but they're making progress, and they are they're almost caught up.
I was going to say, I didn't see many posts about late IST orders going out, so I didn't even know that they were backed up.
I've seen a couple.
Yeah, that's on a regular, though. I didn't see anything abundant, but good for them for reaching out and letting everybody know they know what's going on. They got it taken care of.
I'm willing to bet this next book is also 50% off.
And you are correct, sir.
All right, but why the last man omnibus completely unneeded?
And completely making its way onto my shelves.
Yeah, you're upgrading, right, Jess?
What's that?
You're upgrading, right?
Oh my gosh, so not upgrading. This is
you can't upgrade from the absolutes. What are you talking about?
So guys, not needed at all.
Did you say so not upgrading? That needs to be a T-shirt you wear around.
So not upgrading.
Just pass on this, please.
This isn't an upgrade, though. What are you talking about?
This is a downgrade. This is a downgrade.
It is a downgrade.
I agree.
It's a downgrade.
No, I sold my hardcovers, and I am grabbing that beast. That thing. I'm hoping.
The collector. I am the oversized hardcover collector.
I am the omnibus shill, is what I am.
This is the entire. This is the entire.
Everything.
Yeah, it's all 60 issues, man.
All in one.
That's stupid. That's unreadable. That's dumb.
Oh my god!
It's absolutely beautiful, and I love it. And I'm gonna kill 15 people with it. I swear to you, just by dropping
murder weapon.
Let's wait till we see all the posts of the binding falling apart on this.
I'm so excited.
Omar, you remember the other night when we were talking about the Ed Piskor omnibus and who would buy like an upgraded version? That would be Ryley.
So Ed Piskor omnibus is supposed to be oversized, like taller,
oversized.
Yeah. So
you're talking about the Grand Design?
The Grand Design omnibus.
Oh fuck yeah, I'm buying that. Are you kidding?
Well, here's the thing, though. We were discussing that in the episode, and we're like, wait a minute. This is gonna open up a floodgate of holy shit. If they re-release the Jim Lee Omnis in oversized format, I'm stupid enough to buy them again. And then we're sitting there going, which books would you buy again? And I'm stupid enough to buy a lot again.
I mean, they've already started that Roy Thomas, Neil Adams X-Men book is that same trim size. One of the books this week, Silver Surfer Black, is that size.
That one's soft cover.
I can't wait for that.
It's flimsy. It's a beautiful book. But the other ones, man, if they start a tradition of just never mind, I better not.
Silver Surfer Parable.
What do you mean by
Blood Brothers?
Is it flimsy?
It's not full.
It's not full hardcover.
I know, but is it like Grand Design, like that size?
Yeah.
Kind of
no, it's not even. It's not Grand Design size. It's a little smaller. It's
Which
like
one?
I'm down for that though.
it's kind of its own thing.
Which one?
The Silver Surfer Black.
Are you? Is the like it's a little thinner because I know a couple of the ones that I
No,
have.
like the dimension. Hold on, let me go get it.
Because they're all the ones that I have are all the same trim size roughly.
Right, but I guess he's saying that the Silver Surfer Black one's gonna be a little bit shorter.
Then the picture one.
Damn it!
Okay.
I can't look because my screen's gonna destroy everything.
So, can you highlight me, Jess?
No.
How-
I'm too afraid I'll lose everything.
You're not gonna lose it. Just don't be afraid, Jess. Just highlight it.
All right.
What'd you do? Okay.
And
So-
Did we lose Jess?
Yeah, he's gone. So here is Grand Design, and there's Silver Surfer Black, right?
Yeah,
Oh, it's a
yeah.
little-
So it's a little Grand Design's a little longer and a tad taller.
Tad higher. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So this is
that's
kind of its own
similar.
thing. But
it's
it's
similar to the size of some of the other
but it's this flimsy
treasuries.
treasury edition like Grand Design. I love this thing though. It's beautiful. $29.99. I think if it was a
I don't know how
hardcover.
to call that flimsy though. That doesn't seem like flimsy.
Well, it's not a hardcover though.
right.
Right.
So it's a,
It's not-
it's a
it's
trade
not like-
paperback,
It's not like Parable.
but it's thicker than a trade paperback.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, so not flimsy. Flimsy is like a terrible epic collection.
Oh, like the quad collections? Yeah, we don't talk about those
Right.
anymore. Those guys got fired. But anyway, there you
That's flimsy. That's flimsy.
go. Jess?
Well, let's see. Oh, okay.
There. Wow, look at you, dude. You did it.
that was smooth.
We all disappeared though.
Yeah, y'all disappeared, but wait. There you
Oh.
go.
Damn, Jess.
Look,
You
I
are-
didn't have anything to do with that.
Wait, you booted Geo off.
No, I didn't. He's right. He's just
I don't see Gio.
He's sleeping.
You lost him in the internet.
there
There
he
he
is. Shut up.
All right, so
All right, are we done talking about this monstrosity of a joke of an omnibus?
Yeah, and I'm gonna rub it in y'all's faces when it's the coolest thing I own.
I'm gonna laugh when it falls apart.
Yeah, that thing's gonna dump out like a
Watch
pizza
it be the
sideways.
best built. Watch it be the absolute best built book that DC has. And the reason why their some of their recent books sucked is because they put all their tech, like
all the money.
all their money, in the technology to make this book work.
All the glue that they skipped out on Swamp Thing went into this beast instead.
Like each one of the binding is hand sewn by small children somewhere in Peru. I'm gonna go ahead and play it safe and say Peru. I'm from that country and I can make fun of it. All right. What else? What else is next?
I can't believe we spent this much time on this worthless thing.
Was Superman the City of Tomorrow 50% off?
Yes, it was.
Yes.
Oh, that's a very underrated great run. That is Jeff Loeb's run. I love that stuff. Young Justice, book 4.
All right, Young
So
Justice.
glad those-
Young Justice 4,
So glad those are still
and
coming
Marvel
out.
actually has something this week.
Oh, there it is. Whoop, there it is.
All right,
that's the-
Jesse,
All right.
tell us the good news. What's 50% off?
That is not. House of X, Powers of 10, that is not 50% off. That's 42% off.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I will double check.
If I were a betting man, I really
42% off.
But there's another book down there though.
yeah, the one that Riley and I want.
Oh,
Tigra, the complete collection.
Oh, what, the Executioner Song Epic Collection?
That thing is cool too. All right,
Shatter
so
Shot.
the
Yeah.
House of X and Powers of 10 direct market. That's the Mark Brooks cover. It's a
That's the
beautiful
one I want, right?
cover.
Yeah.
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 It's,
I
one you
love
want.
that cover.
It's a beautiful cover. You got the Art of Ed McGuinness. Those books are really good. I like those are oversized too.
Dude, I hope that's all just old school original Deadpool art in there.
Yeah, they go through all the faces of.
Yeah, because I own some
years.
of the original Deadpool art.
I didn't know you liked that run that much. That's awesome.
I love that run. That's like that's the best Deadpool that I've read. Is that Joe Kelly and McGuinness era? That first omnibus is fantastic. All right, and then moving on, we got the start of the John Byrne Fantastic Four in Marvel Masterworks.
Those are both 50% off. So boom, there go 2 of your 50% off choices right there on Marvel Masterworks. Actually, as usual, those are always 50% off. And watch, next week they won't be 50% off because I just said
Silver
Okay.
Surfer Black that Omar gave us
Yes.
the honor of checking out.
But
Awesome.
by the way, that Hoxpox, somebody's asking, it is glued binding. Somebody was asking in the chat.
That's okay.
Does that really matter on that 12-issue book?
Not
Mhm.
really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still 480 pages because of all the variants in the back, but I didn't have an issue. It's a little bit of gutter loss, but there's not that many splash pages, so you don't have to worry about it.
I don't care. I just want it. I've been waiting.
Yeah, I'm ready for that.
You're gonna be so confused, Jess. You're gonna be like, none of this makes any sense.
Oh, that's right. Jess hasn't read it. He's like the only one who hasn't read it, right?
He tried.
I tried, but I
It was really adorable.
You have to space to give up.
adorable.
He messaged me going, "Man, I love you, but I can't read any more of this stuff. It's giving me a headache."
It's the single issue thing. I couldn't keep up with it week to week. I'm like, wait, what happened last week? I got to go back to last week.
Right. Yeah.
Too
So
hard.
this way you'll be able to enjoy it. So
Yeah.
Dr. Afra continuing that series, not in hardcover.
Nobody cares.
Tiger's cool. I did an overview of that. That's a cool book. Because X-Force Epic is awesome if you're into the Epic collections. But the big one that I'm wondering, Jess, is X-Men Shattershot 50% off?
Omar, it is.
Yes.
50% off.
Nice.
You just made me, Ryley, and 12 other guys that have wanted this book so happy.
I'm into
Tell
this,
me-
dude.
There's even like
yeah.
even
Yeah.
X-Men fans that we talk to that are like, nah.
Yeah, they're like, no way. Why are they
What's
collecting
wrong
this?
with them?
And
And
we're
me,
both
I'm
sitting
like,
here like, yes.
Yes, skinning of
Yes.
gold. Shattershot finally collected in oversized format. It's a
Dude, you
dream
even get
come
the
true.
survival guide to the mansion, which is like one of the coolest things I ever put out.
Even
Yeah.
I'm getting this.
Are you really?
That's worth it
Yeah.
for that alone.
That's
I
awesome.
already know where it's supposed to go in my collection.
Yeah, it
Did you
fills a
request-
Oh, that's
perfect
right,
little
you asked.
gap.
Did you
Sorry?
request it, Omar? Was this like one of your picks that you told David, "Hey, let's get this going"?
No, they announced this last year sometime, or at the beginning of this year, and I was so happy. I was like, yes. Like Ryley said, most X-Men people are like, yeah, why?
But it
Dude,
fills
look at
that.
Jim Lee cover. Look at Jim Lee
There's
cover. It's awesome.
a gap that like I was like, how are they gonna
Yeah, there was no.
what's
way,
gonna
right?
happen here? Because it was just the what was it? Skinning of Souls paperback.
Mm-hmm. And then
And I was
Shattershot, because they left out Shattershot in Bishop's Crossing. They left out Shattershot in X-Men Omnibus Volume 2. So where are they going to put it? They made it their own oversized hardcover. Oh, hell yeah, I'm in. And they threw in the Survival Guide to the Mansion. Awesome. That stuff has some classic Joe Bennett artwork, too.
So if you don't get this, you're obviously not a real X fan.
Ooh.
If you get, it's
It's
a double-edged
gonna sell
sword,
out.
though. If you buy this, you're an idiot. Just like me.
But if you don't buy
But
it,
if you
you're not a
don't
real
get
fan.
You're not a real fan. So there you go.
So
This is gonna
therefore,
sell out faster
the real
than
fans are
Alphabet.
idiots. Oh, 100%.
Yeah, because
Because you know that Marvel,
we're all
like,
gonna buy them.
There's like exactly. There's warehouses full of House of X, and there's like one box of these.
There's one box they're gonna sell out. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna be so mad if I have to wait till Friday to get it. And I'm like, oh wait, oh shit, they're sold out.
I'm
This
gonna
is
order
gonna be the
500.
book that's gone in an hour on IST tomorrow.
X-Men Reload. This is the second and final volume of the Chris Claremont second return to X-Men. It's a great run. Okay, it's not that great.
I love
but
that,
I still love it. I don't care. Alan Davis, Chris Bachalo, and who else is on
Yeah.
artwork? Somebody. Oh,
I love Chris
Roger
Bachalo's,
Cruz.
Joe Madureira's ripoff artist.
Yep. And Jim.
But I love this Psylocke from Chris Bachalo.
What year was it?
That's good.
2006. 2007, I think. Yeah, dude, look at me, 2006. I was right. Okay, but yeah, sadly, Claremont didn't get to finish his run. I don't know if he got booted off or if he left, but Tony Bedard finished the story. Boys Omnibus, the final one. Mm-hmm. Those things have been selling like hotcakes for Dynamite.
Boom Studios. Cool.
Firefly Unification, Lumberjanes.
And then
Good time to go watch a Hallmark movie.
Rugrats newspaper strips?
Yeah, what's wrong with Rugrats, Jess?
Matthew. And I love Rugrats.
Wait, to clarify, Gabe wasn't talking about Chris Bachalo. He was talking about Roger Cruz, who is known to be one of the biggest swipe artists in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
And to this day. Like, he started off as a Jim Lee ripoff artist, and then Joe Mad ripoff. Joe Mad even called him out in a few panels.
Yeah, he called him out on the newspaper. And it said, Roger Cruz swipes again.
Swipes again. Newspaper. I love that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now down to this part.
That N-Man 40, that Reload is Chuck Austin's Reload trade paperback. I don't know why they're calling it Reload, but keep that in mind. And Chuck Austin, according to Omnidog, is the greatest X-Men writer.
I'm a true fan.
There is going to be some interesting
interesting,
which is why I'm staying, because I have some things to point out. And it's not manga.
You're so stupid,
man.
Pronounce mango.
See if there's anything here you guys want to chat on.
5 years is the follow-up. Isn't that Terry Moore's 5 years? Did that get a hardcover treatment? Or is it going straight to trade paperback? I don't remember a hardcover being announced.
Oh, for 5 years? I don't know.
Yeah.
Here on the wind, no one cares.
Dude, it's Terry Moore. You like Terry Moore.
I do.
You just forgot. Speaking of Terry Moore, is Strangers in Paradise coming
That's what we're waiting for. Don't ruin my moment for this.
Oh, okay. My bad. Go ahead.
Wow.
Gabe, we're stuck on manga for some reason. Okay.
No, I think it's going to be here in the this is the Miscellaneous.
Dude, I read that title as Kiss Me at Stroke. I was like, what? Oh, Stroke of Midnight. Got it. Not as cool a title as I thought.
Mary Shelley's
I saw it as Kiss Me at Stroke Off.
Mary Shelley Monster Hunter sounds badass. I like that.
Yeah. Big fan of that. Where's Gio's being? Gio's not here. I was like, he's been really quiet.
Oh yeah, there he is.
What do you think of Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid Kana Daily Life graphic novel, Volume 6?
Is that a name?
Yeah, Miss Kobayashi's fun.
A
lot of people like to give it
I heard you talk about it.
A lot of people like to criticize it because of fan service and whatnot, but I think it's an underrated comedy. I like it.
Fan service? Those
funny.
girls look like they're 8 years old.
They're dragons.
Because of this.
Oh, loopholes. Okay. Queen of Bat. There it is. Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, Pokemon.
Pokemon, yeah.
Okay.
You got a new Ultimate Collection coming out next year.
This Overlord a la carte looks kind of cool. Let's look at this real fast.
What is
That guy's dope looking, dude. Look at him.
Gio,
that's a popular anime.
How many volumes does that Ultimate Collection of Pokemon have? It's like all of them, isn't it?
It's going to be 10 3-in-1 omnibus style books. Yeah, like the One Piece
omnibus feel like the One Piece. So I don't own any of those, but I hear people complain about the paper quality.
But these are going to be more similar to the quality of the Zelda whatever the Legendary Editions, or like Urusei Yatsura's.
Oh, gotcha. Can we please keep talking about manga for like the next
I hate all of you.
I have so many questions about.
I'm sure you don't.
Riley,
What
what,
Bad dreams.
What about
What?
Our Dreams at Dusk?
Like,
Yeah,
I don't even know
that's
who's
cool.
on the cover of Pokemon Graphic Collection Hardcover Volume 2.
You haven't cared about Pokemon in 30 years.
Riley, why don't you summarize us the first few volumes of Pokemon while we're at it?
Stop it.
Dude, the Pokemon manga is actually, I mean, I don't know about those, but the one that's getting the new editions is dope.
I've heard that.
You have
Can we,
no.
can we talk about Yu-Gi-Oh for the next 30 minutes?
Yes.
Has anybody?
Absolutely.
I'm serious. Has anybody read this Overlord Arlecott Volume 1?
You keep going back to this. It's
cool.
based on the anime, which is based on a manga that is not this, right?
Based on a light. It's based on a light novel. That
Thank
was the original thing.
Look, Geo drops that knowledge, man.
Yeah, that's what. Man, Gio's the best.
He really is.
Thank you. That's not true, but thank you. Overlord
He's
is an isekai out-of-world story about a guy that he's the villain and he gets stuck in a video game
I was about to
as
say,
the villain of that game.
this looks like a Capcom versus Marvel video game, like add-on pack.
That sounds really cool, man. Actually, I'm interested. Is it any good, Gio?
Yeah, I love it. I love the anime. It's
Don't
3
beat
seasons
yourself
so
with the
far.
TKO book, man. Go get that Why the Last Man, then beat your head with it.
Overlord is fun.
All right, give the man what he wants.
What about this Tenko King?
$179, Jess.
No,
That's the-
mine
that's
is
the bookplate edition.
trade.com if you pay attention.
Okay, waiting on you, buddy. What do you got?
25% off.
What you got?
$135. But
Nice.
here's the important thing. If you really want this book at 35%, 25% off, you better be there like 5 minutes to 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time and get your order in because they may or may not get those orders. They have no idea if they're getting what they asked for, and if they get what they asked for, they may get shorted. So if you really want this, you better be there right on time and order it as fast as your mother's going to let you. So hurry up and get there and order it. This thing's going to sell out faster than anything else they've ever had.
Except for Shattershot.
You think so? I think Shattershot's gonna beat it by
Yeah,
at least an hour.
Shattershot.
Okay,
Shattershot.
Shattershot, then this.
Shattershot.
What about Trinity 7? I think Trinity 7 is going to sell out pretty fast. Look at that.
So $125, is that what you said was the
It is
for the hardcover, right?
$134.99.
And then the soft cover is 80 something, I assume.
77.
I suck at math.
30% off.
So with taxes, you're probably going to end up looking at about $148 book.
Now, keep in mind the original printing was 150, right? Who owns it? Who still has? Was it at 150?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this has gone up about $30, but it's also been out of print and gone for ridiculous amounts of money.
And those are tariffs from China kicking in.
I'll just
Sure.
wait for it to go down in price.
Blame another country. Yeah. Wait for the damage sale.
Yeah, I'm gonna get one for $30 is what I'm gonna do.
All right. I'm gonna wait for the Why the Last Man to drop on it as they're taking it out of the boxes.
Would you wait for somebody to buy
Mark
it
goes
from
as
the group
damage.
and then not want it anymore because they never wanted it in the first place and sell it really cheap on the group?
That's what's gonna happen.
Charlie Rogers, the one that's beside it for 109, that's the soft cover edition, and it doesn't come with the little. It's like a little slim art book.
Yeah. A real fan would pick up the more expensive one.
You guys are the worst.
It's got the hardcover has the signed book plate too.
I don't know what that is, but okay.
It's a piece of paper they put in there. That's
Very more. It's
I'm so
a
disinterested in
blue
this.
love.
Get the cheaper version, then meet the artist and have him sign it. And then you have the signed edition.
No, but then
and
it's
then make
soft
them turn
cover.
it into a hardcover.
Yeah,
Send
Geo.
them, send them to a book bindery
Sorry.
and have them custom made into hardcover.
By the time you do that, it's gonna
hard-
cost like a lot more than just paying $135 or whatever.
It's the principle
Or
of the
just,
matter.
or just get Shattershot and be happy with your life.
Exactly.
Oh man, Bavarian Rev said that her Shattershot, or not Shattershot, damn it, her Batman and Robin Omni has a bad binding.
Boo.
That sucks. That's the new printing, right? Because
That
we just
sucks.
had one come out.
Mm-hmm.
Who's this?
Uh-oh. That doesn't bode well for why the last man.
I told you it's because they used all of their money in all the technology to make sure that Y had the best binding ever.
Yeah, I told you, my nephew's hand sewed Why the Last Man.
Farwell gift.
It's probably gonna have
There you
an eye hole on the spine so big I can pass my arm through it.
I got your eye hole.
Wow.
Oh,
I got
wow.
another hole for you.
Whoa, hey now. Guys, this is a family-friendly show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's. I was supposed to get off 15 minutes ago.
Coming out next week.
Ubel Blatt looks awesome, by the way.
So what's at the bottom here?
Scroll down a little bit.
I'm tired of looking at Strangers in Paradise.
So we got
with you. I want to see that movie.
I like A3Ns. Honestly, those Batman bindings aren't bad if you stretch it with a ruler. That should be like a DC PR like release somewhere on Instagram, Twitter, like a video on how to make their spines better.
It doesn't show up on previews, but it does show up on IST's letter to us. Is 4 Kids Walk Into a Bank hardcover.
What? It's finally coming?
30% off. $20 tomorrow. Yeah,
cool.
It's finally being released.
I have been wanting that damn hardcover for months now. So
Fair.
Awesome.
Now you're happy with me again.
I am.
I've been wanting it for seconds now.
There.
It's a great book.
Really is.
It's Rosenberg.
Never.
I wanted it, and I just changed my mind.
Yeah. 4 Kids Walking the Bank hardcover, 30% off.
All right. Well, guys, this was a lot of fun, but I gotta bounce off. I got a little girl I gotta go up there to go and hang out with before she goes to feed dad. But you all take care. It was a pleasure to join you all. It was a lot of fun to do the TKO reviews together.
It was a little bit of fun. I heard you.
Yeah, a little bit.
It was a little bit of fun. A lot of fun to talk about Shattershot.
Yes, that I can talk about all day.
And you're all going to be jealous when I get my Why the Last Man omnibus, and it's
you do a video on that.
I want a video
filled with like $1,000. Like they know that I'm going to get it, so they're going to put money in it just for me.
Omar, where can we find you out in social media land that you refer to as SM?
SM, the near mint condition.
S&M?
This place right here. So
nice.
Why don't we have one of those?
I don't know.
Tina made
we need to make our own ruler. Let's get some rulers that put OmniBroslive on it and makers for all of your DC omnibus.
Does it have to be shaped like a ruler?
No, it can be shaped like your. It can be shaped like your dick. Whatever makes you happy.
That's not where I was going. All right, you all have a good one.
That's family stuff.
And on that note,
all right, Riley, top 10 okayest movies of 2019.
I care more about this than any top 10 list for the year. But yeah, I'm gonna have to rack my mind, but I do think that we should make a video for the top 10 okayest movies of 2019.
Not the best.
Not the best and not the worst. The okayest.
Okayest.
It's literally gonna be like, all right, guys, what did y'all think of Detective Pikachu? I thought it was okay. Yeah, it was all right. It was all right. It was pretty good. Ryan Reynolds was fun. It's okay.
I agree with that.
I'm just going to read off all the movies I saw on my AMC list because I think I saw nothing but okay movies this year.
But which were the 10 okayest?
I still stand by. I think this was a pretty weak year in terms of movies.
But there might have been a lot of okay movies. And that's going to make it really hard to whittle it down to the 10 okayest of the year.
It's true.
I thought Hobbs and Shaw was really okay.
Mm-hmm.
Zombieland Double
really
Trap.
Okay.
That was okay.
There's a couple of pretty good scenes, but overall it's an okay movie.
Mm-hmm.
Was it the okayest? I don't know. We'll have to, tally up the scores.
Stuber was like a solid 6. Stuber, yeah.
I need
passed on Stuber.
I need to see that. Was that all right?
Yeah, it was okay.
This is exactly what I want. It's like you go out with your friends and they're like, "What were you doing last night?" "Oh, I went to the movies." "What'd you see?" "Stuber." "How was it?" "It's okay. It was okay."
I feel like we're holding Jess hostage right now.
Oh no, okay movies are great. I love okay movies.
Jess is okay with this.
I'm okay.
How are you feeling?
I
I'm
saw an
okay.
okay movie a couple weeks ago. It was okay.
Oh yeah, Fighting with My Family. That was okay.
Charlie's Angels, totally okay. I was okay with that.
What the fuck was second act? Oh, that was that J-Lo movie. That was okay.
No, that was Hustlers. Hustlers was the J-Lo movie where she's a stripper.
No, this is another J-Lo movie. This is
There was another J-Lo movie?
This is her as like a woman who gave her kid up for adoption. Spoilers.
There was another J-Lo movie this year? Oh shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
Okay.
Yeah, where she like
Okay.
she lies on her resume, becomes like a
Okay.
CEO.
They're okay.
Yeah, it was okay.
Which
I thought Hustlers was okay. Hustlers was kind of.
Yeah.
I fell asleep through part of it.
I gotta give credit to J-Lo. She still looks good for a woman pushing close to 50.
She looks
She's
okay.
okay. She's looking okay.
She looks okay.
Yeah, she looks okay.
What do you guys think about Absolute Dark Knight 3?
Not okay.
I think it's okay.
It's okay.
Not
Yeah, it's
okay.
okay.
You know, I'm okay. Seriously though, Dark Knight 3. I don't know if I would buy it in absolute. Like if they did an oversized hardcover, I'd do that. It was definitely better than DK2. That's not that that's hard to do.
That's not fair. To compare it to that, try and pick a different bar.
It's definitely better than Batman Damned.
That bar is not
Stepping over that bar. It's on the ground.
Shit. Okay. I don't know. It has some good art. It has some good ideas. I like the little side stories that it has with. Each issue had like a little mini comic with art by J.R. Jr. Yeah, it was okay. I thought it was okay.
I don't think it deserved an absolute, but it was okay.
No, I think the only reason it got an absolute is so it can have that format uniformity with the other absolute.
The one they canceled.
What about Toy Story 4?
Oh, terrible. I did think that was okay. My wife absolutely hated it.
I hated Forky.
I was fine with it, except some of the elements did not make any sense in the context of the ongoing stories for these characters.
Buzz Lightyear being a dumbass.
Yeah, like Buzz is just an idiot. Like he's definitely gotten past being an idiot. Woody's acting out of character. What's her name? The little girl is not acting in character. Like she would never forget the toys because she's like so beholden to her oath to Andy to like take care of these toys. I don't know. It just a lot of it didn't make sense. And overall, I was like, okay, this is fine. But then like afterwards, it was one of those that as I mulled it over, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't really care about Toy Story, so
I never saw
it's
it.
a pass for
You
me.
guys scared me off it.
I'm excited about
Back in the day, but that's about it.
the ending. Really set up a new, really cool forward-going element, though. I'm gonna see what happens on Toy Story 5.
My computer's about
I'm
ready to
waiting
run
for
up.
Toy Story
Can we
6.
spoil that? Isn't it come out?
I need to tell you about somebody that's not okay. They're great, and that's InStockTrades.com, where you can get your collected editions up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts add 2% to that. There's always an Omnibros discount code every quarter. Over $50 in an order in the United States, you get free shipping, fabulous customer service, fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com. My computer's down to 10%. You have 10% to go on your okay movies before you get automatically shut off.
No, we're going to make an
IST
actual
is
list of
great.
this.
Everybody else is okay.
This is the point
Every
of
other
the
store is
show.
okay. Amazon's okay.
Yeah. This is the
Well, I
point of
gotta
the show
go.
where we
'Cause I'm
start
gonna watch the
hearing.
new episode.
We're starting what? What's that, Gio?
No, it's okay. Just random
No, go
stuff
ahead. I'm
in
looking
my
right
head.
at you. I'm looking right at you. What do you got to say?
I don't know. Whatever. Nonsense. Don't worry about it. It was a joke
Right
about
at
something,
you.
but yeah. You should play the. If we could not get a copyright strike, this would be the perfect time to play the drowning music at Sonic from Sonic, because your computer's about to die.
Bum, 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 bum.
Dun, 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 dun. Yep.
Glug, 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 glug. I'm ready to get out of here.
Yeah, I
All
gotta
right.
watch the new episode of Watchmen now,
The Watchmen. We haven't talked about that.
and I will talk about it with y'all tomorrow or another time. I don't know.
Comics Guide 101. Where can they find you?
At Comics Guide 101 on YouTube and Twitter.
Wow.
And Riley just turned on his PS4.
We
Yeah,
can-
he's going to download that episode.
You can find me on my
watching it
channel.
on.
We can
we-
geek them talking
we
about
can keep them?
yeah. That we can geek them talking about anime, comics, and nonsense. Subscribe if you can. If not, that's okay.
Let's talk manga. Is that your new name?
No, I just like to put something silly on here every time I jump in. You can find me on the Facebook group and here on Mondays and Tuesdays. No, wait, Sundays and Mondays. Whatever those days are.
Riley Mo, where can they find you?
You can find me here usually on Thursdays. So I'm trying to get it on right now.
Ooh.
Hey.
Nice.
TV.
You can find me Omnidog.
Here in my channel, Ryleymo, RYLEYMO, on the YouTube.
7% to go. You can find me, Omnidog, on Omnidog's Vault on YouTube and Omnidogs_Vault on Instagram. Thank you to all our chatters, all our viewers,
Yeah, they're okay.
to TKO Studios and
They're okay.
Instagram.com. You guys are all okay.
They're okay.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
Okay.
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 Okay.